there's a topic I would want us to look at. At times, it will not be any fault of ours, but we might have a child when we were growing up, maybe when we were in school, or it happened that we got a lady pregnant and we accepted the responsibility, but because of schooling or other difficulties, there was no marriage, so I have a child, or she has a child. There's nothing wrong with this. The person might have lost even the spouse, and then is getting married to another person who has no children. What do we do about this? There's nothing wrong. It's even an avenue for you to be blessed. I'm saying this because you can take very good care of somebody's child, and the child becomes your own. I've seen someone who has raised a stepchild so well that the stepchild sees the person, a lot of them, not even one, sees them as their real parents or real mother and not their biological mothers. It's always said that stepmothers are witches, they are bad, they are this, but it's not true. You have to take your time to know someone before you give the person names. There are people who really fear God and will do everything to raise the other person's child without not even expecting any reward. What advice do I have for you if you are entering a relationship and there is a stepchild? If the child, especially when the child is not living with the mother or the other partner, and you have to bring this child into the marriage, my simple advice to you is that, do you love the man? Do you love the woman? The unfortunate situation is when the child is from the woman and the child is a female, at times the men take advantage of them and molest them, but it's not always. What you have to do is to take good care of your children and make sure that the other partner do not take advantage of the young child. I would say that when you are a man, you are going to marry a woman who has a child already, please, 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 you can make the child your own. There are men who have successfully raised other people's children, that's other men's children that their current wives brought into the marriage. And they become very, very, very important people in society. And they've become a source of a blessing to both the man and the woman. Please, there's nothing wrong with that. If you are fortunate to have the opportunity to take care of another person's child, please do that with a good heart and a happy heart. And I would say that don't respect a reward. Look, when you are doing good and you expect that good will be done back to you, that is when we become offended. But when we know we are doing that good unto the Lord, then we don't expect any reward. And when there's a reward, we are happier and we enjoy it most and we appreciate it most. I would say that if you have the chance to raise a child that is not your own, please do so happily. And by so doing, you receive a blessing from God Himself. Do not abuse the child. Some see it as a source of having a house help. Don't let us see the child that finds him or herself in that situation as an opportunity to get somebody to help me raise my children. So that when the child is not able to do that, means it's a bad girl or bad boy, then you keep molesting, beating, expecting so much from an innocent child. Treat the child the way you would have treated your own. And when you do that, you would receive a blessing from heaven. And when you do that, it's an opportunity for you to also have the idea of raising your own. Some stepchildren can be very, very troublesome, but with prayer and patience, you can raise and change the child to even come to your side and make you a good mother for that matter. Please, the men, when you bring children into a new relationship, make sure you don't use them as spies. You don't use them as agents to cause trouble in the home. And you shouldn't form a link with that child against your spouse. It's very, very common. You realize that they would form a link against the other one, and looks like anytime there's trouble, the child is on father's side or the stepmom's side, or it makes life so difficult. Let the child be a child. Let the child be like your own. It shouldn't be that this child is going to be the source of all quarrels in the home. When you do that, it doesn't bring joy and happiness in the home. and it will rather cause a lot of headaches. I've seen a woman who has raised about 5 stepchildren aside her own, and they've now become a blessing because she treated them equally. It takes a woman who fears God to be able to achieve this. Please, it is an opportunity for you to be blessed. It's a door for you to be. Take it as you are a headmistress of a school and you are raising other people's children. Take it that you see it as an orphanage and you are raising other people's children. And know that the one who rewards is God himself. And you don't expect any reward from this young person. The person might see you as a bad person, but if in your heart of hearts you were doing the things you did for the good of the child, God will reward you. And one day, the child will come back to tell you how good you have been. But if you did it in a selfish manner and always visited all frustrations and anger on this little child, thinking that he or she is your source of unhappiness in the marriage, please don't let us go that way. Raise other people's children like you would raise your own. You don't know how far or how long you will live. You don't know what will happen to your own. And it's not the fault of the child to find him or herself in that situation. The school that you would want your kids to attend, let this child also go. And then in the long run, if you've made something good out of this child, you see that you would find your source of happiness from this act. I'm telling you. Those that didn't treat them well and the children didn't end up well and theirs, they thought would be better and therefore the other child will have to be their servant. They realized that later on, those kids had a better life than their own. So please, I'm sounding a word of caution here. Do not use that child as a house help. Do not take advantage of the child to use as a means to serve your own. Rather, raise them all equally. If the child is not cooperating, do your best. Do not take advantage of the child to molest. And please, the men who also defile such young women, please put a stop to it. And young ladies, if you find yourself in such a home, do not become the source of conflict or fight or divorce for your parents. Rather, pray for them that they would find peace and you would also have your peace. Because you need to also leave the home and marry and be happy in your marriage. But if you became a source of pain to them, you have sown bad seeds. So children, you also have an advice. If you lived in a step home and then you caused them so much pain, please go back and apologize. Please go back and make peace. Please go back and ask for forgiveness. And then the Lord would also bless you and open a great door for you to also become a blessed. I've seen stepchildren who have become so great that their stepmoms who took very good care of them have also been healed. I've seen severally, more than even the worst ones. So there's always a chance to be a mother to a great child that you didn't give birth to. It's so much of a joy to be called a stepmom who worked hard to see another person's child do well. Don't let us abuse these little ones. And if you are going to marry and the person has a child already, accept the child because you love the person, love everything about the person, and take the child on and father or mother this child, this innocent child, and make something meaningful out of the person's life. Some of the children have to flee the hands of these or from the homes and become street children. Please don't let this happen to a Christian family, because if you do that, it will haunt you for the rest of your life and they will come back to fight you. So please make sure that if you want your children to be blessed and if you want your children to see good days, take good care of the ones that you didn't give birth to but find in your home. Take very good care of them and they would also, if they don't even pay you back, God will reward you. For that one, I'm very sure. What about the ones that their mothers tend to even speak into their lives and try to influence the marriage because of bitterness and hate? Pray to God. Let your spouse, your better half know how you feel about it. And I'm sure that if it's said properly, the Lord would fight your battles for you. Do not try to fight them yourself. As flesh and blood, you might lose, because we contend not against flesh and blood. We wage war against things our eyes cannot see. So please, if you are in a marriage and this stepchild, or you are yet to marry and this stepchild has become a stumbling block, because some parents will not allow it at all. He has a son, he has a daughter. No, unless the son or daughter is giving back to the woman, a whole lot of issues. Parents, at times, let's take it easy. It's true you've seen that most stepmothers are attacked as witches and all that, but it's not so in every case. Give your child the chance to mother these children, and in the long run, they would reap good fruits out of the act of charity. I want us to read 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 13. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 13. It says that charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up, doeth not behave itself unseemly, seeketh not her own. You see, you shouldn't seek your own. Is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil. Charity here is love. Rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth. Beareth all things, believes all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. Charity never faileth, but whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. You are married to your spouse, or you are about marrying. Accept is a part of the background of the person. So if you love the person unconditionally, then you are going to have to deal with this situation. And the person might be a very good person for no fault of his or hers. She has a child. He has a child. Take up the child and mother the child. And you realize that the person even becomes your friend, your confidant. After some time, you realize that you treated the child well and the child feels loved. And he or she will love you back. Don't form a mind that this is going to be my source of problem. Don't even entertain it. Let love lead you, and treat from your very heart, treat the child well. And you know, and your children will testify to the very fact that mommy was fair to us, and they will respect and love you for all the good work that you have done. It is an opportunity for you to be blessed. Don't give up. When you see that your spouse has a child, you don't have. Some also, it's that both have children. Bring them together, raise them as siblings, and then when you do a good job as a woman, as a father, you realize that you have brought nations together, and your reward you would receive. But as you do that, don't expect that I took you through school, I fathered you, I mothered you, and you've not done anything good for me. When you keep doing that, it means you want your reward here. Let God himself reward you, and he will bless the fruit of your womb. I know of a family that they lived happily, even though there were stepchildren before them. They still love each other. They do things together, and it's so beautiful. And the family is blessed. So you have an opportunity to make history in the world. Do not use this to drive away a good suitor or a partner. Maybe that is your real husband, but something went wrong along the line. Something went wrong with the woman, and therefore she has a child already. She didn't marry, or the person didn't marry her. But now you have a chance to have a good wife. And I tell you, they make such good wives. Do not leave a woman because you realize that the background, she's coming with a child. It might be 2, it might be 3. Take them up and then raise them. And you see how beautiful it is to be a blessing to others. God bless you and stay true. See you next time with another interesting topic. It's been Beloved's Corner. Bye for now.